What's going on, everybody? Christian Garola here from Modern Dwellings in Riverside. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving last week. I took the week off from doing a Market Monday video, but I hope everybody had a good time with their families and eating a lot of food, because I know I did. So today we are going to talk about escrow companies and some of the do's and don'ts, and actually choosing an escrow. So escrow companies are pretty much a third-party company that handle the transactions between buyers and sellers, and they're pretty much told what to do, and they handle all the funds and things like that. But today we're going to talk about mainly is independent escrow companies compared to non-independent escrow companies, and some of the do's and don'ts of escrow. So independent escrow companies usually most of the time are incorporated, and they actually have to be a part of the EAFC, which is Escrow Agents Fidelity Corporation. Sorry, I had to look to my notes for a little bit. And pretty much when any employee has to have that Fidelity card with them and to be allowed to work in an escrow company, an independent escrow company. And with that Fidelity card, they have to go through background checks, they have to do fingerprints. So pretty much the people who are working and handling your money are people who are trusted and have no convictions or any crimes like that. So your money is a lot safer than it would with anybody else. So the actual independent escrow companies themselves are actually held to a higher standard than anybody that's not an independent escrow company. They are licensed by the DBO, which is the Department of Business Oversight, which has a lot more stricter laws than any other company that's not independent in terms of an escrow company. As well as an independent escrow company has to have more funds in their accounts at all times, and they have to have proper insurance, which pretty much protects them from embezzlement or fraud and things like that. So on the other side of things, we're going to talk about the different type of escrow entity, which is a non-independent escrow. And a non-independent escrow company can be held by a variety of arrays, actually owned by, so real estate brokers, mortgage brokers, savings and loans, banks, and title insurance companies can all actually own a non-independent escrow company, and their rules and regulations are definitely not as strict as an independent escrow company. So anything could happen because people aren't being background checked, they're not being mandatory audited, like for instance in an independent escrow company. So you don't know who's handling your money, you actually don't know where it's going. Anybody could be shaving things off a little bit here and there. So definitely is scary, and it's not as insured as an actual independent escrow company. So you have to be aware, and you have to have knowledge and pretty much do your due diligence before you actually choose an escrow company, whether you're a buyer, a seller, or even. So at the end of the day, an independent escrow company is a lot better bet than a non-independent escrow company, just because it's going to be a lot safer, and these large amount of funds, you want somebody who's actually going to be trusted to actually hold your money. So a couple reasons why I feel like an independent escrow company is a lot better. One is because they have to hold their card with Fidelity. All of the employees, they have to be background checked, they have to go through a mandatory audit, and they have to be fingerprinted. Number two is they have to have an employee or an escrow agent that has 5 years experience on site at all times. They have to have proper insurance, they have to have proper funds in their accounts at all times, and at the end of the day, they're not hiring people who have been convicted of felons or been disbarred from the escrow industry. So to your agents and to your buyers and sellers, what my advice is to, when you're writing contracts in the RPA, make sure you know the company of the escrow company or that you're going to be using, or put any independent escrow company in the escrow box when you're representing buyers. So at the end of the day, do your due diligence, make sure where your money is going is going to be proper and nothing's going to happen, because my mom's been doing this for 25 years. She said she has seen on multiple occasions agents have actually not used escrow companies that were, has seen people using escrow companies that were non-independent escrow companies, and at the end of the day, some of the buyers and sellers and agents ended up losing money. So you don't want your money in people's hands who could potentially be hazardous or be convicted criminals. So thank you for listening. I'm going to tell you about the do's and don'ts a little bit right now too. All right, everybody, now we're going to get to the fun part. It's going to be really quick, I promise. So some of the do's and don'ts of escrow while you're buying a home, while you're selling a home, and while you're in the process of, just doing something while you're talking to a lender. So one of the things is, don't change your bank account. Don't do anything funny with your bank account, cancel them or anything like that. Don't apply for new credit cards, anything like that. Don't make any large purchases. So a large purchase for me would be a car, furniture, anything over the price of $1,000. What you also want to do is don't deposit any cash into your accounts without talking to your lender first, making sure that's okay. And another thing, the last thing I'm going to talk to you about today is do not co-sign for a loan, because that could be a discrepancy against your actually loan itself if you're buying or anything like that in the process. So I appreciate you guys for listening. I will see you guys next week. Christian Gorilla, Modern Dwellings, Riverside. If you have any questions on buying, selling, investing in real estate, or just the market itself, let me know. Hit me up. I'm your guy. I love to talk about this with my degree in finance, and this is stuff I do every day. I trade every morning, so this is stuff I love to talk about. I'm always open to new ideas and concepts and learning, so let me know your opinion, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.